Well, welcome back to DTV. Today, I'm delighted to welcome Jon Weg. He is a digital transformation leader with success driving change for really innovative, world-leading brands such as The Body Shop and Burberry. He's delivered some technology firsts, such as when he led the technology elements of the Burberry's Runway to Reality, which was featured on the front page of the Times. And has over 20 years of experience leading international delivery teams, including as the CIO of The Body Shop. He spent 18 months in China, 12 months in Germany. And Jon, we are really delighted to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Avery. It's an honor to be here, and thank you for that lovely introduction.
So, you've mentioned, as we were talking in the past about, three major digital transformation trends. An omni-channel approach. Second, the whole notion of how do you make the purchase more frictionless and easy. And then, third, the importance, and this is a really critical one, the importance of the human touch and still keeping that human element, with consumers. So how does this really happen in a post-COVID world when human touch is a bit more complicated, shall we say, than it was a year ago?
That's a great question, Avery. And I think a lot of retailers last year were very much on the journey to providing a more compelling in-store experience and to try and attract that ever-decreasing footfall into their stores. And a lot of people referred to it as Retail 2.0. And the thinking was really about stores being places that enticed customers to visit, to hang out, and to enjoy immersive experiences. And I think this really has changed through the pandemic lockdown. And there was a recent publication, actually, ERP magazine referred to the new normal as Retail 2.5. Where experiences are still, of course, critical to get customers to visit stores. However, it's now more about making that experience as safe as possible and enabling the customer to engage in many different ways. In fact, most importantly, in the way that they want to engage, and really blurring those lines between physical and digital, because at least some element of the journey now is likely to be digital. So as you rightly say, I think the key elements to be successful in that is, one, providing that true omnichannel experience. So however the customer wants to engage with you, and whenever they engage with you, you can provide them the same experience, whether that is online or in store or partially one and then partially the other. You have to be able to recognize them and continue that journey. Secondly, exactly as you said, a lot to do with safety now is make it as frictionless as possible, allow them to use their own devices, not just sales associate devices. And absolutely a critical element, I think it's been recognized even more through this pandemic, is that human connection to really bring the brand to life for the customer. We've seen through many ways, just for example, chess. We found in chess that computers were able to beat humans. However, the addition of the human plus computer, still is the ultimate solution that can beat another computer. It's bringing the digital element and the physical human experience together. So I think some of the retailers that have employed clienteling solutions to enable their sales associates to continue the connection with customers during this pandemic lockdown and to continue to provide outreach and stay in touch, I think those ones now are a significant advantage compared to other brands that are now having to rapidly catch up and try and rebuild that engagement with customers.
So, Jon, one of the things that's interesting is there's a gap between, traditional bricks and mortar retailers and people that are excelling online has really been, expanding and widening for a while. And one of the things that COVID seems to have done is accelerate all of that. So, what's your advice to, traditional bricks and mortar retailers about how they can thrive in this world, which is overwhelmingly brought digital into the forefront?
It's a great question, and it's clearly a big struggle, still is a big struggle for many retailers at the moment, if not the majority of retailers. And I think almost every retailer has been finding it extremely challenging. Think of the quote from the former US Defense Secretary about operating at the speed of relevance is what I think the ones that are staying successful. And we think we're seeing supply chains evolving as well, from being just in time to being more about just in case, as you don't know almost from 1 minute to the next what the changing rules and regulations are going to be. And as you say, we've seen dramatic change in a short period of time. I think it was Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella who observed 2 years of digital transformation in just the early stages of lockdown. And then everybody seems to have chimed in with an increasing period of time. And I was just reading, McKinsey have published an article saying that there have been 10 years of transformation in the last 90 days. And I think we're all witnessing that with our personal lives as well, with relatives and family all getting onto Zoom calls and people just becoming much more comfortable with digital as the normal. And now it's a really interesting balance for companies on what to invest in, and how, with the limited cash availability and survival mode being so important, but the need to address customers' requirements, and as we just talked about, these new growing things of omnichannel, frictionless experience, etc. So investments need to be really smart, and they need to be focused on what adds real value to customers. And it brings me back to agile and lean principles of looking at things from a customer viewpoint, and what actually is it that adds value to them. And then just focusing on doing that and doing it well, but doing it minimally, and then iterating and improving over time.